Here's another day in the life of a freeze-dried business owner. I'm David, and I have a freeze-dried business here in Idaho. If you're familiar with this YouTube channel, you know it's all about freeze-drying as a business. And there's a Valentine's Day event over at a winery here in the Boise area. And this winery has bought from me for a long time. And so I wanted to make sure I supported them for their kind of local Valentine's Day bazaar. So they're going to have music, they're going to have all types of activities, and they're going to have some vendors inside, which makes it kind of nice getting out of the elements here in wintertime. All right, so since this is such a small event, let me just show you the kind of the key things that I've got, as well as I don't really have that much product. I don't see it being a big seller type of event, just more of a way to get kind of local branding and local awareness, but also hopefully make a couple $100 maybe worth my while. So most of you are familiar or you've purchased these. These are from Costco. You can get these types of totes, and it's a really great little tote to put all your product in. Now, as you can see here, I've got ice cream sandwiches. I can do that because I'm in a commercial kitchen. And if you want to explore that, then get into a commercial kitchen and you can get into the TCS types of items. So I've got ice cream sandwiches, and then over here I've got some caramel M&Ms that I'm going to do. This was a big hit in the holiday time, so I've got that. These totes are collapsible, and it makes it really nice to where when I'm at the event, I've got my table set up, I can actually slide these underneath my little tablecloth, and it makes it just really nice to be able to carry a lot of products and not have these big totes all the time. Now, speaking of things to put into your booth and at your table, I'm not going to have a big canopy. This is an indoor event. So I've got a table here, and then I've also got a pegboard that I use, and I'll show that to you when I get to the event of how I arrange it. I've also got some other videos that I've shared about events and showed what type of pegboard I've got. It cost me about $150 to get it off of Facebook Marketplace. Somebody else was selling who used to be a vendor. And so that's a great place to find used products as well. So let me just show you what I've got here. So this is a folder that I've got all of my menus from the holidays. Now I'm just going to keep the prices the same. I know that there's, some holiday specific graphics, but I didn't want to have to reprint any types of printed items. Now, one other thing that I always bring with me is my seller's permit as well as my food establishment permit, just because if there's any questions that someone has about my business or anything like that, it's just always good to kind of have documentation that you have credibility about your business, especially when you're selling food items. So that's what I've got there. Let me show you what else I've got in this more supplies tote. So in here, I'm actually going to be bringing some samples. And so I've got different samples of my blueberries, pineapple, things like that. I've also got some freeze-dried strawberries. And if you're wondering if these get soft, they don't actually. You can actually use these for the entire day. And usually I sell out of all the stuff anyway that I'm sampling. Now I've got some really cheap plastic bags to put the products in. I would advise having these for your customers. They're always looking for ways to carry it around, especially at a bazaar. I've got my microphone for any type of video capture that I want to do on my phone. If you don't have one of these wireless mics, these are really handy. This is what I'm using right now with my phone. I've got actually a microphone right here, and I've got a mic thing that's attached to my iPhone that I'm shooting this on. This is only about, I think, 20 bucks on Amazon. I'll put a link in the video description here if you want to buy it. This has been really handy. It's wireless and it comes with 2 mics. So pretty long lasting. It lasts probably 3 hours, the mic. So it just charges from a regular just kind of USB and micro USB. So that's what I've got there. And let's take a look at this. So I've got my fabric that is my tablecloth for my business, Freeze Dry Depot. I've got a charger for my phone. I've got some wax paper that I use for putting samples on. I didn't have any sample cups at this time, so I'm just going to use wax paper to put it on. I've got my pegs, and I've also got a hole punch so that I can put the bags and punch some holes in the bags so I can hang it. Now this is more the business side, so I've got my business cards here, and if you haven't purchased business cards or you're looking for a way to design them that's really easy, I use Zazzle.com. They usually have great discounts, and they also offer some free shipping if you get above, I think, like $75 or $100 worth, which is really about 300 business cards worth. I give a business card out to every single customer and it has my website address on it, as well as my social links and my email and phone number. So just really a good way to connect with customers. I've got pins in here, I've got scissors, extra batteries, I've got a screwdriver, and I've also got some tape. So a lot of good stuff to put into your bag. Hey, one other thing too is, if you're not familiar with Square, this is a Square reader, and there's a lot of different other payment systems that you can use. I've just found that Square has been very easy to use, and this one comes with a component where you can put it into your phone. I think at like iPhone 11 or higher. And then also it has a card reader, which has been really nice. I rarely actually use the one that goes into your phone. I just use the chip reader because it's easy, and it's easy to transact. It all connects to an app on your phone. And if you want more information about the Square payment system, I've got a link in the video description where I've got some links to buy this reader off of Amazon, but you can also buy the whole Square app and all the different types of components through square.com. All right, I'm going to pack all this up. We're going to leave and go to the winery, and I'll shoot some video of how I'm going to do the setup there. All right, we're here at the Indian Creek Winery. This is the local vendor that I have selling a lot of my products during the spring, summer, and fall months. They've been fantastic, and they've basically bought all my products since I started selling wholesale. So I want to contribute to them by attending this Valentine's Day bazaar, and they've got a bunch of tables, and it's going to be a really cool event. But this is the winery, and so I wanted to just kind of give you a view of what we're experiencing here, so that if you're not from Idaho, well, this is a taste of what we have to offer here. Wine is actually becoming very popular here in the Boise area. There's an area called Caldwell, Idaho. They've got a bunch of wineries, and so we're really starting to kind of grow in that segment. One of the cool parts about being a local business is it doesn't really matter how big or small you are. You get to do the things that you want to do. And one of the things that I like to do in my business is really help out the people that are buying from me, because they helped out at the very beginning. And this is a really cool winery. Now, it's not as big as some of the big wineries in Idaho, but it's ran by a local family, husband and wife, and they do a lot of cool events at this area. They've got great shade cover, so in the spring and the summer, they've got all types of bands and wine tastings and all type of events. So this is a great event. And that's part of the thing with running a business. No matter whether you're in freeze drying or something else, you get to be in the driver's seat of where you want to be to showcase your business, what you want to sell, and who you want to be, your identity, because that's what's really going to matter. And especially when we're seeing a lot of people get into the freeze drying candy business specifically, it can seem like it's a very saturated market. And that is partly the case because there's a lot more competition, there's a lot more people doing it. It's very easy to get into it, right? We all have to just buy a freeze dryer, and then we can put in some Skittles and we can start selling it, because you can be in cottage food for pretty much any state in the country. But the thing that's going to really differentiate you is what type of events you do, who you're making connections with, who you're building relationships with, and you can build that for however long you want to. You can grow your business to be a full-time job where you have employees. You can do it like me, where you have a full-time job, but you also are doing this on the side and just having fun with it. It can be whatever you want it to be. So let's take a look inside of the Indian Creek Winery, and I'll show you what it's all about. So we're at the booth, and I wanted to show you guys the Square reader. So this is the Square reader, and then when you open up the app to be able to transact all of your different items that you're going to sell, before the event, you're going to want to put them into different categories. So I've got candy, fruit, ice cream, and taffy, because I had different types of taffy flavors at one of the larger events this past holiday season. But it's very easy. Once you categorize it, you're going to select the item. And so when someone says, hey, I want those Charleston chews, you're going to select the item. It's going to be added to the cart. So then you review the sale. And then if you set it up beforehand, it can actually do your state tax for you. And so that way, when the customer is charged, it's actually for $9.54. It collects that tax for you, so you don't have to have that at the very end. You charge it, and then it says tap, and so they would tap their credit card, and that's easy as it is. And then they can either get an email receipt or you can do also a text receipt. But that's how easy this report is. And then also at the event, you can see how you're doing. So let's go to more. And then you can go to reports, and you can see in sales how you've been doing already today. So I've already sold 4. Average sale price has been about 2 items each, and already made that much today already. So that's how easy the Square Reader is. So if you want to learn more, go ahead and go to the video description of this video, and then I have some links to Square as well as the Square process.
I'll eat when I'm hungry and drink when I'm dry. If moonshine don't kill me, I'll live till die.
We're a couple hours into the Valentine's Day Bazaar that I'm here at the Indian Creek Winery here in Kuna, Idaho. I hope you've really enjoyed this video of my life as a freeze-dried business owner. It's really started to fill out here. There's a lot of cars, as you can see in the distance in their parking lot. Here's the winery where they make and get all the grapes and things like that. And then here's the back side of where all the stuff is happening. Like I showed you, they have bluegrass. What an awesome band. Fun fact about me is I actually grew up playing the fiddle. I played in the National Old Time Fiddlers Contest in Weiser, Idaho. I actually placed 4th place in the small fry division. Played for about good 10 years. Just can still pick it up, can still play a couple songs, but just not as polished as I used to be. And I actually played the banjo too. And man, hearing that bluegrass music, man, it just makes me want to get back into it again. I was telling my wife, who's here as well, that maybe I should just start getting lessons again and start picking that up, because man, I love bluegrass. It's just a soulful American type of genre of music. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this day in the life, like I said, and if you are starting a freeze drying business, try to support your local community and give back just like everyone is to you. And try out these different events, small and large. This small event that I've been doing here, in the few hours, I've made a couple $100, probably about $311 last time I checked. And so it's brought, maybe $100 an hour, which is totally worth it for just getting out there and getting your brand exposed. And if you're going to do a small event like this, it actually could benefit you over the larger events, because everyone's here for a purpose. So everyone's taking a look at every single individual vendor, and I've noticed that really almost I've made a sale on every single person that's come here. So hey, if you like what you're seeing and you like kind of seeing the intricacies of my life as a freeze-dried business owner here in Idaho, I encourage you to take a look at the next video coming up, which is going to be another episode that I shared earlier this past year.